So let's do it. Welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, I appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. Here's everything that we're discussing here on the latest edition of Eagles Now. A great injury update on Eagles star left guard Landon Dickerson going into Thursday's season opener against the Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia set to work out a second-round pick from just a couple of years ago who was an edge rusher and failed with the New Orleans Saints. And Nick Sirianni said something very surprising and interesting today. We'll dive into that as well. But because it's Cowboys week, this is a great rivalry on the field inside the NFC East. It's a great rivalry inside the walls here at Chat Sports. And you take a look at the subscribers gained in September for our Cowboys channel and here on Eagles Now. We are currently losing, and hopefully this isn't what happens on Thursday night at the Link, because if the Cowboys win that game, it spoils Philadelphia's celebration of winning Super Bowl 59. So since we flipped the page to the month of September, it's only September 2nd, the Cowboys report has gained 77 new subscribers. Here on Eagles Now, 39 new subs, but we can flip this battle on its head right now, and we can come out with the dub if you hit that subscribe button right now. And I promise you, you won't regret that, because you get elite Eagles coverage every single day right here on the channel. So let's start off with talking about the latest around Landon Dickerson. We had an update this morning. This continues to be a developing and fluid situation, and now we have a new update. So back on August 10th, during the Eagles open practice at the Link, scary moment. Landon Dickerson went down. He was in a lot of pain. Then he got carted off the field at the Link when all of the fans were watching the Eagles hitting the practice field. And a lot of people were holding their breath during that moment because it looked ugly at the time. Turned out, wasn't as bad as it could have been. Eagles got the best news possible, and this was a great scenario for Philadelphia, considering how great of a player Landon Dickerson is. But he did injure his knee. He got surgery on his meniscus a couple of days after that practice, and then last week, he returned to practice. But then on Monday, we're like, hold on, Landon Dickerson is not out there. He didn't miss practice because of the knee. He missed practice due to a back injury. And so he was not lining up with the first-string offensive line in their preparations for taking on the Cowboys on Thursday. Then today, prior to practice, Nick Sirianni, speaking with the media, he had no new update on Dickerson's injury status, but he did say it's nothing to do with the knee that he got surgery on. It's a separate issue. It's his back. And that got me thinking, because he had that knee ailment, was he overcompensating? That led to his back being a little bit sore. That's why he missed practice on Monday after he had returned to practice last week. A good development, though, after Sirianni spoke, because Landon Dickerson not only on hand for the start of Eagles practice today, but later this afternoon, not long ago, as I record this show right now, the Philadelphia Eagles released their injury report. Landon Dickerson, a full participant with that back injury, which means he practiced in full. Tanner McKee did not practice with that right thumb injury. And so his status heading into the season opener might be in doubt. If he can't play, Sam Howell will be QB2. But it's good to see Dickerson practicing in full alongside Jalen Carter, Andrew Mukuba, and Josh Uche. So the read on this right now is that Dickerson, one of the top left guards in all of football, a leader for this team, a guy who is so incredibly tough, is going to play against the Cowboys. And a major key for Philadelphia in going up against Dallas, it is their ability to run the ball and the Cowboys' inability to stop the run. And I know there have been some personnel changes year over year, of course, with that Cowboys defense from 2024 to 2025. And most notably, there's no Micah Parsons. And now Dallas has a really good run-stuffing defensive tackle in Kenny Clark. They have a new defensive coordinator in Matt Eberflus. But these numbers last year for Dallas, their rushing defensive statistics were horrid. Are they going to change that drastically? This is a weakness that this Eagles team can exploit, because they still have Saquon Barkley. They still have Jalen Hurts. And with Landon Dickerson most likely playing, this is still an awesome offensive line. But the Cowboys last year gave up 137.1 rushing yards per game. That was 29th among the 32 teams in the NFL. They gave up 8.3 rushing first downs per game. That was 31st. They gave up all last year 25 rushing touchdowns. That ranked dead last. Yards per rush, 4.8. That was 28th. And the rushing DVOA, 29th. According to Jerry Jones, he said this right after that shocking trade of Micah Parsons, the Cowboys traded away Micah specifically because they wanted to get better in stopping the run, something they haven't been able to do the last couple of years. And when you can't stop the run, it keeps your offense on the sideline. Your offense can't catch a rhythm because offensive football is rhythm-based. It helps the opposition eat clock, and it really just wears you down in the trenches. With that, I want all of the real ones, all of the legends who watch this show, to predict the score. Eagles hosting the Cowboys to kick off the 2025 NFL season. All eyes will be on the Birds against the Boys. So predict the score. I gave you my score prediction during our preview, which is up on the channel right now. Put that video up on Monday. Labor Day? Yeah, we weren't poolside. We were busy working. Then there's this, topic number 2 and story number 2 that I want to hit. This tweet from Matt Zenitz, who's always breaking news across the NFL. Former Saints defensive end Isaiah Foskey is expected to work out with the Bears this week and then the Eagles next week. Sources tell CBS Sports. The former Notre Dame All-American was a second-round draft pick of the Saints in 2023. He posted 16 tackles for New Orleans last year. And I liked Isaiah Foskey coming out of school. Obviously, he's bright in between the ears because he went to Notre Dame and they have very strict academic requirements. But on the field, he was also a very impressive player against the run, generating a pass rush, and as a special teamer, he blocked several punts when he was playing for the Fighting Irish. And I wasn't the only person who liked Foskey coming out of college going into the NFL draft in 2023. The Eagles liked him too. Foskey visited with the Eagles in the pre-draft process. Really liked the size at 6'5", 264, 34-inch arms, a good wingspan. That's always valuable when you play that edge rusher spot. He can move too for that size. 4.58, 40-yard dash. I like the foot agility, and he processes quickly, especially going up against the run. And what was interesting then at the time is that coming out of Notre Dame, a lot of the scouts were saying he's only going to get better. He has his best football ahead of him. But Isaiah Foskey is a player who, with a bad Saints defense, organization, and team, he's kind of flatlined. And he hasn't improved at all. Instead, he's just gotten worse. And so it's never good when a second-round pick who was taken pretty high in that second round lasts only 2 years with the team that drafted him. The Saints pretty much said with the new regime, with Kellen Moore coming in there, we're done. Brandon Staley, their new defensive coordinator, he said, look, I don't have any ties to Isaiah Foskey. Let's just wipe our hands clean and kind of start over. And the production, not good. His first 2 years in the NFL. 0 sacks, 0 TFLs, 1 pass breakup in 2 combined years. But as we know with Howie Roseman, he loves bringing in high-round draft picks because the Eagles firmly believe in their coaching staff and in their ability to develop players. And this would be a classic Eagles situation where they're able to maximize a player like Isaiah Foskey, set to work out with the Eagles next week, and we'll see if anything comes out of that if he signs with Philadelphia, either on the active roster or on the practice squad. Today's Eagles Now is brought to you by Prize Picks, by the way. You and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Yeah, legends, I'm talking to all of you. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Who are you high on this year? Who are you down on? Test out your sports knowledge with Prize Picks. It's very simple to play. You can get your picks in less than 60 seconds. You can win big up to 2,000 times your money. And all you have to do, pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in big time. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, and it's the best way to win cash this football season. And it's easy and safe to cash out because Prize Picks offers everything from Venmo to Apple Pay to MasterCard. I also really like their specials. For instance, week 1, I know it's the Cowboys. I know it's Dak Prescott. But the special for him, all he has to do is throw for more than a half passing yard. He's going to be able to do that. And that'll give you 1 automatic win. Elsewhere, let's go with Jalen Hurts, more than a rushing and receiving touchdown, the 0.5 there. And then Saquon Barkley, more than 92.5 rushing yards. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. This is real money sports action made easy. Claim your $50 now by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. So Nick Sirianni held that pre-practice press conference today, and he said something that really surprised me. He said that the Eagles will not be on the field for the pregame ceremony when they raise that second Super Bowl banner. Instead, they will be in the locker room as Eagles fans, about 70,000 deep, are raucous, going crazy after a day of tailgating, even though the Eagles are trying to tell people not to tailgate if they're not going to the game because somehow SEPTA is screwing the entire city of Philadelphia. Don't get me started on that because I will rant about that, but that's a separate issue. Here's what Nick Sirianni said about opening night. There was a question. Nick, you guys have emphasized moving on from last year. The last Eagles Super Bowl banner night in 2018, it's famous that the fans booed the Eagles at halftime because they weren't happy with how things were going, albeit it was banner night. How do you feel about the fact that even though it is banner night for you guys, the fans will have the standard of performing and winning at a high level? Nick Sirianni's response, yeah, I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out on the field for that. I know that sometimes coaches will have the famous coach speak answers and they will beat around the bush, and sometimes they don't reveal things because of gamesmanship. For instance, Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, they won't name who the starting cornerback 2 is, who's going to start alongside Zach Bond at off-ball linebacker, who's going to start at safety. I know they say things to say things, right? Sometimes they mean it, sometimes they don't. This is a case where I don't believe Nick Sirianni. There is no way Sirianni has no clue that the Eagles are hoisting their second Super Bowl banner. I mean, he is the head coach of the football team, and he has given specific information about pregame routines and pregame celebrations and what's happening. I mean, shoot, Boys to Men going to be singing the national anthem during banner night. That's going to be incredible. But Nick Sirianni, you're telling me you don't know that the Eagles organization for the home opener and the debut game for the entire NFL is going to be raising their second Super Bowl banner? I'm not buying that. Now, I think it would be cool for the players to be out there and celebrate with the fans because that was something special that the Eagles were able to accomplish. But I see where Sirianni and the players are coming from. 2024 was 2024. That's in the rear view. They're looking ahead to this year. They're trying to go on a dynastic run. They're trying to repeat as Super Bowl champions. And also, the Eagles, as a team, as an organization, they already had their celebration. They had the Super Bowl parade. It got lit. And then they had their Super Bowl ring ceremony, and they partied that night. And so they probably don't feel the need to celebrate last year's achievement this year again. So I see where Sirianni's coming from. I just don't think he's telling the truth. But let's hear from you. Should the Eagles be out there for the banner-raising ceremony? If I was the head coach, I'd probably have the roster out there and the team out there. I know the team has changed a little bit, but I'm celebrating that because I also want to set the standard. Type yes, type no, let me know, and I'll catch you soon here on Eagles Now.